Have you ever loved something so much you'd risk your life for it? Today, we're diving into the haunting and controversial story of Timothy, a man who called giant grizzly bears his friends and ultimately paid the highest price for that belief. This isn't just a story about a man and some bears. It's a deep dive into obsession, the blurred lines between passion and delusion, and a tragic reminder of nature's untamable power. Timothy Treadwell wasn't always the grizzly man. Born Timothy Dexter in New York, his early life was a struggle. He was a promising diver in college, but a back injury shattered his dreams. He moved to California to become an actor, but success eluded him. He battled with alcohol and drug addiction, and by his own account, he was on a path to self-destruction. Then, a near-fatal overdose became his turning point. He decided he needed a new purpose, a reason to live. And he found that purpose in the Alaskan wilderness. In the late 1980s, Timothy made his first trip to Alaska. It was there he encountered the grizzly bears of Katmai National Park. For him, it was a profound, spiritual experience. He felt an immediate connection, believing these massive predators were misunderstood creatures who needed a protector. He gave them names like Mr. Chocolate, Grinch, and Aunt Melissa. He saw them not as wild animals, but as individuals, as family. This became his new identity. He legally changed his last name to Treadwell and dedicated his life to protecting these bears. For 13 summers, Timothy returned to what he called the Grizzly Maze. He'd set up his camp right in the middle of bear territory, often just feet away from these 1,000-pound animals. He brought a video camera with him, documenting his interactions. Over the years, he shot over 100 hours of incredible and, frankly, terrifying footage. He would talk to the bears, sing to them, and even try to touch them. He believed he had a special gift, a unique ability to communicate and coexist with them. He saw himself as their guardian, standing between them and the threat of poachers. The problem was, poaching wasn't a significant threat in that protected national park. The biggest threat to the bears, and to him, was his own presence. Timothy's actions were highly controversial. Park rangers, wildlife biologists, and bear experts repeatedly warned him. They told him he was habituating the bears to humans, teaching them that people were not a threat. This is incredibly dangerous, both for humans who might encounter those bears later, and for the bears themselves, who might be killed after an incident. Experts argued that by trying to humanize the bears, he was erasing the very wildness he claimed to love and disrupting their natural behaviors. But Timothy wouldn't listen. He saw the authorities as the enemy, people who just didn't understand his special bond. He felt he was doing vital work, raising awareness through his videos and presentations at schools. He co-founded the organization Grizzly People to promote bear conservation. To his followers, especially children, he was a hero, a real-life Dr. Dolittle. The footage he captured is truly astonishing. You see him sitting by a river as a massive grizzly peacefully fishes nearby. You hear him whispering sweet nothings to a bear he calls Tabitha. It's easy to get drawn in, to almost believe he did have a special connection. But then you see the other side. You see footage of him getting charged by a bear, his voice trembling with fear. He documented territorial fights between bears, often putting himself in the middle of a life-or-death struggle. He was playing a game of Russian roulette with one of the planet's most powerful predators. He often spoke about death, acknowledging the risks, but believing the bears would never harm him. He was convinced he had earned their trust. In the fall of 2003, Timothy and his girlfriend, Amia Yuganaru, stayed in the park later than usual. It was October, a time when bears are desperately trying to fatten up for winter hibernation, making them more aggressive and desperate for food. A bush pilot who was supposed to pick them up arrived at their campsite to find a scene of horror. An unusually aggressive bear was guarding the area, and there was no sign of Timothy or Ami. Park rangers were called in, and what they discovered was devastating. They were forced to shoot and kill the bear that charged them, and an autopsy later revealed human remains inside. The partial remains of Timothy and Ami were found near the destroyed campsite. The most chilling part of the story is what was found on one of Timothy's cameras. The camera had been running during the attack, but the lens cap was on, so it only recorded audio. This 6-minute audio file captured the final, horrifying moments of Timothy and Ami's lives. The tape is now in the possession of one of Timothy's friends and has never been publicly released. And for good reason. Those who have heard it, including the filmmaker Werner Herzog, who featured it in his documentary Grizzly Man, describe it as the most terrifying thing they've ever experienced. Herzog himself, after listening, immediately told Timothy's friend to destroy it. So, what is the legacy of Timothy Treadwell? Was he a passionate environmentalist or a man suffering from a dangerous delusion? The truth is probably somewhere in between. He genuinely loved the bears and wanted to protect them, but his methods were deeply flawed and ultimately born from a human need for connection, not from a scientific understanding of wildlife. He projected his own emotions and desires onto these wild animals, creating a fantasy that he could live among them as an equal. His story serves as a powerful and tragic lesson. It teaches us about the profound respect that wild nature demands. We can love animals, we can work to protect their habitats, but we cannot erase the line between our world and theirs. Trying to turn a grizzly bear into a friend isn't just naive, it's a disservice to the animal's true nature and a danger to everyone. Timothy Treadwell's incredible footage gives us a glimpse into a world few have ever seen, but his final moments are a brutal reminder that the wilderness doesn't play by human rules. What do you think about Timothy Treadwell's story? Was he a hero or a fool? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's a complex story with no easy answers. Thanks for watching, and if you found this story compelling, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into fascinating true stories. See you next time!